You're holding something right now that got more expensive in the last few months, and it has nothing to do with the store you bought it from. A tanker route most people couldn't point to on a map just shut down, and it's already moving through 30 things sitting in your house. None of your shelves look empty yet. That's exactly the problem. And one item near the end of this list isn't a product at all. It's the reason none of this fixes itself in a few weeks. This isn't about ships sinking or ports closing forever. It's about routes getting longer, prices getting front-loaded, and one raw material running through a single choke point. Every item on this list fails in a different way. Watch the format, the price, and the timeline, not just whether the shelf looks stocked. By the time we reach number 1, you'll understand why none of this was ever really about one item at all. Number 30. The mailer and the bubble wrap. Nobody stockpiles packaging. That's exactly why it moves first. Most plastic packaging shares one raw material, and roughly 85% of the Middle East supply of it travels through a single strait. You won't see a shortage sign here. You'll see your seller's box get a size smaller before the product inside costs a cent more. Don't buy shipping supplies in a panic. Just notice when packaging shrinks first.
Number 29. The generic pill bottle. The medicine aisle can look completely normal, while the ingredient behind your usual bottle took the long way here. Generic and store brand versions get the substitution tag first, not the name brand beside them, because their route got longer and more expensive. Rotate what your household already uses. Don't let the bottle run all the way down before you replace it. Number 28. The off-season toaster. Full shelves right now don't mean full shelves in 6 months. Retailers already pulled next year's stock forward to beat new costs, which makes today's shelf look healthy while quietly borrowing from tomorrow's. Small appliances were named specifically as a category pulled that way. If you need one this year, buy it now. Don't assume always available survives once the borrowed inventory runs out. Number 27. The bicycle. This one is cheap now and expensive later, and the sticker on the shelf is lying to you about which. A single round of tariffs pushed the average cost on goods like this from roughly 2% to over 20%, and current tags often reflect stock that shipped before that hit. The next shipment won't be that lucky. If a repair is what you need, buy the tube or the chain now. Number 26. The holiday toy aisle. Toys were flagged as a shrinking import category in the same season retailers forecast record holiday spending. Not a contradiction. It's the front-loading trick again, and it means the shelf you see in October tells you nothing about December. In stock online can still mean the next restock is the uncertain one. Buy big seasonal items earlier in the year. Number 25. The flat pack couch. A furniture order isn't delayed because a factory stopped working. It's delayed by how it got loaded onto a ship. One importer cut both cost and wait time simply by switching from scattered small shipments to full containers. Same couch, wildly different timeline. Ask for a real delivery window before ordering furniture around a specific date. Number 24. The winter coat. The clothing aisle stays full. It's the season-specific version that thins out first. Winter clothing was named directly as a declining import category, while off-season basics kept arriving on schedule. The coat you need for a specific month disappears before summer shirts do. Buy the seasonal item early before everyone else remembers what month it is. Number 23. The auto part you've never heard of. One missing bolt-sized part can stop an entire repair, and container shortages have already been tied directly to production lines halting over exactly that kind of tiny component. The car isn't broken because of the big system. It's broken because of the smallest piece inside it. If a mechanic quotes a longer wait for the part than the labor, that's your signal. Don't defer a known repair hoping parts get easier to find. Number 22. The replacement tire. Budget tires disappear before premium tires because thinner margins mean less priority on a squeezed lane. Tires share the same petrochemical pressure hitting packaging and electronics, even though nobody links a tire to a mailer. Replace tires on wear, not on price watching. Waiting for a better deal can mean waiting for a smaller size selection instead. Number 21. The coffee and cocoa shipment. Some rerouted shipping lanes now take close to 2 months instead of a few weeks, and coffee and cocoa are exactly the kind of cargo where time and quality are connected. The bag isn't disappearing. The price per pound is creeping up before it does. Buy your regular brand a little ahead of running out, not the day the jar goes empty. Number 20. The small spice jar. A $4 jar of spice travels the same long, rerouted lane as a container of soybeans. It arrives in a much smaller quantity, which makes the delay hit it just as hard proportionally. Specialty blends go first. The generic stays. Keep a backup of what you actually cook with, not an entire rack you'll never touch. Number 19. The baby bottle and the formula container. The product inside stays available. It's the exact bottle, the exact container size that becomes vulnerable because it comes from the same plastic supply line as everything else on this list. Familiar shapes get swapped for odd ones with no warning. Keep a small buffer of the exact format your household depends on. Not a stockpile, just a buffer. Number 18. The pet food bag. The food is fine. The bag holding it is the constrained material. Brands quietly shrink the bag before they touch the price on the label, so the real increase hides in ounces, not dollars. Check price per pound, not the number on the front. That's where the squeeze shows up first. Number 17. The AA Battery Multipack. Batteries solve a problem nobody thinks about until the power is out, and battery inputs sit in the same squeezed category as packaging and tires. Multipacks disappear before single units because that's where the bulk value lived. Keep a modest, rotating stock of the sizes you actually use, replaced on schedule, not during the next outage. Number 16. The chip inside everything. Here's the twist nobody expects. This category rises while almost everything else on this list falls because demand tied to newer technology pulls supply toward higher margin uses. A gadget can get more expensive with no obvious shortage story attached at all. Don't assume electronics are fine just because the category looks strong. Check the specific product. Number 15. The laptop that ships through the Gulf. Some routes simply have no backup plan. Hardware bound for certain ports has 3 options when its usual route closes: a much longer detour, an expensive flight instead of a ship, or waiting. Pre-order dates slip first, specifically on retailers tied to that region. Expect the delivery date to move before you expect the price to jump. Number 14. The can of paint. Paint and coatings share the same chemical feedstock squeezed by the pressure hitting plastic and packaging. Not a coincidence. It's the same oil-based route running under products that look nothing alike on the shelf. Specific finishes get backordered while plain white stays in stock. Finish planned projects with what's already there instead of waiting for the perfect shade. Number 13. The plastic bottle, not what's in it. The product inside is completely fine. The bottle around it is the actual bottleneck, built from the same shared material running through this list. Brands swap shapes and caps without explaining why. Don't chase a specific bottle out of habit. Buy the product. Let the packaging be whatever it has to be. Number 12. The bag of fertilizer. One region can control far more supply than shoppers assume, which is why a single disrupted lane hits planting season harder than it should. Agricultural shipments have already shown extreme swings tied to exactly this kind of disruption. Garden center restocks slip right before the season people need them. Buy agricultural supplies early, not the week planting starts. Number 11. The propane tank refill. The same strait carrying your packaging also carries roughly a fifth of the world's oil and a fifth of its natural gas. Energy and household goods share one choke point, which most people never connect. Fuel prices move faster and more visibly than shelf prices, an early warning sign worth watching. Schedule your seasonal refill before the coldest weeks, not during them. Number 10. The aluminum can. The can is the vulnerable part, not what's inside it. Rising logistics costs feed straight into the shelf price of anything canned, regardless of the recipe. Watch the can size shrink while the price holds steady. The same trick as the pet food bag, in metal instead of plastic. Compare price per ounce, not the sticker. Number 9. The shipping container itself. This one isn't a product at all, and that's the point. A shortage can exist even when nothing stopped being made, simply because empty containers pile up in the wrong part of the world. Finished goods can sit at a factory with nowhere to load them. No shortage of goods and no shortage of shipping capacity are two different claims. Don't assume one guarantees the other. Number 8. The line on your receipt you never read. Prices rise before the shelf empties. A single mid-year rate adjustment added roughly $3,000 to shipping one large container, virtually overnight, stacked on new canal surcharges. A sudden round-number price jump usually means a surcharge, not a shortage. Buy based on what you need, not fear of a number you don't understand yet. Number 7. The arriving in 2 days that isn't. Canal restrictions are quietly pushing shipments toward different ports and slower inland routes, stretching delivery windows with no explanation on your order page. The estimate at checkout isn't a promise anymore. Order anything tied to a real date, a gift, an event, well ahead of when you need it, not the week before. Number 6. The booking window nobody watches. A seasonal item is only easy to get before the industry's own busy season starts, and that window closes weeks before casual shoppers notice anything. Shippers are told to book a month or more ahead of windows most people don't know exist. Buy imported seasonal goods before everyone else starts thinking about the season. Number 5. The store brand that's suddenly gone while the name brand stays. Cheap versions disappear before expensive ones because thinner margins get deprioritized first once shipping tightens. A full-looking shelf can hide the fact that the affordable version you actually buy is the one missing. Don't assume the category is fine just because something's sitting there. Check whether it's the version you reach for. Number 4. The bolt, the washer, the tiny part. The cheapest piece in a system often holds the whole thing together, and a single missing imported part can stop an entire repair or production line, regardless of what it costs on its own. Hardware stores quote weeks for the small part, while the pricier full replacement stays in stock. Buy the cheap part when it's available, not after the failure. Number 3. The straight most people can't point to. This is the concentration risk behind almost everything on this list. One narrow strait carries roughly a fifth of the world's oil and a fifth of its natural gas, and it closed with less than 48 hours warning before major carriers stopped moving through it. This doesn't show up on a shelf directly. It shows up 2 or 3 steps later in packaging, fuel, and freight costs across dozens of unrelated products. Number 2. The rate that jumped before the ship even sailed. Price is the earliest shortage signal there is, and it arrives before physical scarcity does, because a shipping company can price in risk instantly, while the cargo itself takes weeks to move. New canal surcharges and a roughly $3,000 rate jump landed in the same stretch, weeks before shelves showed any visible change. Treat a sudden price jump as your earliest warning, not random inflation. Number 1. The map that already changed permanently. Every item on this list was a symptom. This is the actual cause. Rerouting around the southern tip of Africa instead of a shorter canal route adds close to 4,000 nautical miles and 10 to 14 extra days to a voyage that used to be routine. And that detour has been absorbing close to a tenth of the world's shipping capacity for years, not weeks. Most people assume a shortage means someone stopped making the product. The truth is simpler and easier to miss. It just takes longer and costs more to get here, and that's invisible until you go looking for it. The smartest move isn't stockpiling. It's keeping a small buffer of the boring, specific things you actually use, replaced on a normal schedule before the season or the surcharge catches up to you. Every item on this list, from the mailer to the medicine cabinet, runs through the same changed map. A missing part stops a car the same way a missing container stops a factory. A price moves before a shelf ever does. None of it requires an empty shelf to already be a problem. On your next few shopping trips, pick 2 or 3 boring, specific items you actually use, the exact size, the exact brand, and replace them on a normal rotation instead of waiting for a shortage to make the decision for you. Which item on this list have you already noticed getting more expensive or harder to find where you live before anyone told you why? The shelf doesn't have to be empty for the system behind it to already be strained. The map moved months ago. Most people just haven't noticed yet.